Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 9th. This week, we are going to jump right in here. You have the stag spirit says take the lead. You have the small spirit says surrender now. So a lot of you could be definitely taking the lead in your life. This has been a big theme for you, Taurus, for a long time, that you could be like stepping up in life or kind of taking the lead in some area of your life. So I'm not really surprised to see that. I think that this could lead to some big changes for you. A lot of you could be doing things that you've never done before. And I'm not trying to be mysterious here, but, again, this could be in any area of your life. I feel like there's like a flip. That is the best way I can describe the energy. I even said this in your June, maybe it wasn't the June reading, but I think in the last reading I did for you, which was for the next 6 months reading that I did, it's like the best example I can give you is it's like, let's say you're married. It's like if your partner is the breadwinner, that like you could be becoming the one who like makes more money, right? It's like that's the type of energy that I feel. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but that's like the type of energy that I get from your readings. It's like you are making this switch, this flip. And, that could show up in a million different ways in your life. The other thing that's popping into my head is it's like you could be getting your boss's job or something like that. So you really could be taking the lead. You have the Ten of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Pentacles. It's like finally all this hard work is, coming to an end for you here, Taurus. I think this is, I personally, I like the Ten of Wands. These wands are his harvest. He planted those wands, and he's about to reach his home in the background here. So he is about to have a harvest. And I feel for a lot of you that, you could be about to have a harvest with the Ten of Wands. You could be about to have success in your life after a long journey. And this definitely feels like a long journey, like years of work and years of, doing things. You're about to like reach that finish line and put those wands down, and you're about to release them. What's very weird is I just had an image pop into my head with this card, which like I imagined that these wands were like way up here, like very much, much longer than they are on this card. And it's like it popped into my head that this is, it's like things have been out of balance. Could you imagine carrying 10 wands that were like 20 feet long? You would be like very off balance, right? And so I got this very off balance feeling. I don't know where to go. I'm trying to get more on that, but I'm not. So I don't know what to say about that, but, again, I think some of you, it's like you're finally getting back into balance. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune can, of course, represent a change in your fortunes or, improvements coming in for you. So I think that there could be a lot of improvements coming into your life with the Wheel of Fortune. I think that a lot of you are probably doubling down on, things getting better. And what I mean by that is it's like you're focusing on changing your story. Again, I'm a big fan of doing this because it changed my life many years ago. It's like when, this is why I encourage people to break routines, because it's like the more we have a routine in life, the more we are just cementing these patterns into our life, right? When we break our routine, we break our brain in a good way, and we aren't cementing those old patterns like of trauma or pain or something we went through. And I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is saying, if you're having a routine, it would be a really good time to like break it or, add some different activities into your life. I don't think people realize how much just doing something different, as simple as it sounds, like how much it can change your story. A lot of your readings in the past have been encouraging you, Taurus, to change your story. And, I think it would just be a good time to do that. You have the Four of Pentacles. Again, same thing. Four of Pentacles is holding on too tightly to the past. He needs to release the past and move forward, but he's afraid of releasing a routine, maybe, because of what it provides him. I always say he's kind of holding on to a limiting situation. He only has Four of Pentacles when maybe the Ten of Pentacles is available to him. Who knows? But if he doesn't let go of what he has, then he's never going to get to that point. He's kind of like holding on to a limiting situation. And so I do feel it's time for you to release anything that is limiting you and let go of those things that are like holding you back, right? So let's see what is going on for you here, Taurus. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is a card of, it can be lying, cheating, stealing, but Seven of Swords is a good card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. he is sneaking away from this army in the background with these swords, and he is just moving in a new direction. So I feel for a lot of you that this could say that there are better ways to do things that you're trying to do in your life. And, this is about doing things in the better way. He's being tactical. The Ten of Wands, like I said, I personally like the Ten of Wands, but he is kind of doing things the hard way. This would be doing things in the efficient way, and that's what I would be doing. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles could be good news. Like, this could be news of an improvement or like a turnaround that's coming into your life. So if you've been hoping or trying to make some improvements, the Page of Pentacles could be you doing things to create an improvement in your life or to create more success. And I definitely like to see that for you. The Page of Pentacles could also be a new person. We do have a little bit of love here. So if you're looking for love, this could be like an earth sign. It could be any sign that's coming in, but there could be a new opportunity in love. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Swords. Yes, literally my card of Groundhog's Day, exactly what I said on that Four of Pentacles. Nine of Swords is having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in a nightmare. But it's like, again, if we don't change our patterns, then nothing changes. Again, I think that people don't realize that when you get into that Groundhog's Day life, where every day is the same, you're doing the same things at the same times, it just forms this routine, and I believe it causes a lot of problems, because it's like when we start living life automatically, which, again, if you listen to people like, Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, they all say like 90% of our decisions are made automatically. And, when that happens, and when we cement the pattern by just doing the same thing over and over and over again, then we just never get different results. And so I think that it's very simple. Again, I think we have to change our routine. We have to do things differently. We have to go do things we've always wanted to do that we haven't. We have to do something random. And it might sound crazy, but I don't know, changed my life, and it's free. It doesn't cost any money, right? Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this exploration card. It says, right now you need to search and explore. It's okay to wander until you find home. You have this tricky situations card. It says, a sly, subtle approach is necessary in order to safely navigate a tricky situation. Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords is the card being sly and subtle. I don't really think this is a tricky situation. I just think that, this is saying that you can be tactical in what you're doing at this time. And, you can, if you're trying to create something or do something, or if you're making a big move in your life, you can choose to do things in a more tactical way, or you can kind of like plan a better route. And by doing that, you will be more successful. You have the Death card, the Queen of Swords, and the Seven of Wands. The Death card can represent a big change coming in for you. So there definitely could be like a big change that's coming in here with the Death card, or there could be a major transformation that you're going through. It's kind of funny because I just said to Virgo that I think the Death card is going to come up a lot in these readings, and I haven't been wrong. Pretty much everyone has had it. We're kind of in a change time, especially here at the beginning of June. We are, a lot of the energies have changed. A lot of the big planets have moved to signs. Uranus will be changing signs soon enough. And, again, whenever we have all these planets, these major planets, or like important planets like, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter will be changing signs. Like, they're all basically changing signs or have changed signs at the same time. Then, of course, naturally, we are going to experience major change. You have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is about seeing things clearly. That's another thing that I think could be coming. We just had that new moon on May 26th, and that new moon was the first new moon we've had since all these we've had new moons every single month, but it's the first one since that collection of retrogrades we've had since November. It's kind of like the first one since all those retrogrades ended. And so I think this is bringing a great deal of clarity and insight into people, for people, like understanding problems, but also not problems in their life. I think we could be noticing good things and bad things. The thing about the Wheel of Fortune is it's not all good. The Wheel of Fortune, I think it is a good card, don't get me wrong. But, the Wheel of Fortune says you have to take care of your problems quickly, and you also have to double down on the good stuff just as quickly. And if you do that, then things will turn around. And so you could be getting a lot of answers about, things that have slowed you down, things that have gotten in your way, or things that have prevented you from finding success. And you could be correcting those things. But again, you could also be seeing good things that you want to double down on. And I would be doing both. We go up to the King of Swords here. I kind of do get this feeling that this is saying that you are maturing. Normally, I don't really like readings with the King and Queen of Swords together because usually they don't see eye to eye. Now, there's one big difference. I do prefer the Queen of Swords to show up before the King of Swords because she is kind of reaching her hand out. So if this is love, this could be a person that you just haven't met yet. And, you could be becoming clear on that person in the near future. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. So a lot of you, this is a card that says when you know that something is going to be successful for you, that's when it will truly be successful. So, it's a card of having those deep beliefs and really believing that you can manifest something or create something or do something in your life. And so the Seven of Wands is about those deep beliefs and kind of really believing that you can be successful. Seven of Wands also a card of drawing a line in the sand. I think you need to draw a line in the sand with yourself and say, if you're doing things you hate, I think the Seven of Wands says no more. You have to tell yourself, no, I am not going to do things I don't want to do anymore. I am going to focus on doing things that I do want to do. And, I think if you do that, things will greatly improve. With the Death card, you have the Three of Swords. I think everybody's feeling this right now. One thing I will say is this is a very good month for sure. June might be the best month of the year. I think the rest of the year is better than the first half of the year, so I think the whole rest of the year is better. But, June might be the best month this year. And, I think, but one thing I will say, we have Neptune square Jupiter or whatever on June 18th. And, I just think that, around that time, people could feel weird. People could be thinking about more nostalgia. People could be thinking about things that they've lost or things that they didn't want to let go of. And I think healing those things, of course, would be very important. With the Three of Swords, we have to remove those swords from our heart to be set free. And, that's what I would be doing there. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Ten of Pentacles. There you go. Four of Pentacles. I literally said that. It's right here, Four of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. Don't hold yourself back from your Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles says, with the Queen of Swords, says you see this vision clearly. Sometimes I feel the Ten of Pentacles is a vision. It's like everything you want and desire in your life. But it's you have to be the one to make it happen. It's building, leaving a legacy. This is not something that just magically happens. We have to put the work in to, kind of get those 10 Pentacles. And if we do that, we will be successful. So that's what I feel like you have to do here with the 10 of Pentacles. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Seven of Cups. Yes, 2 sevens to me is internal fears that don't exist. I do think it's a time, we are kind of in a time of fears, and I feel we all have to release those fears. So, Seven of Cups is dreaming about all the what ifs, what if this happens, what if that happens. But if we get the clarity, things will be much better for us, and, that's what I would pay attention to there. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Healing Chaos card and this Flexibility card. Yeah, a lot of you could be healing or going through healing with that Healing Chaos card. I've been saying to you for over 2 years now that, being more flexible is what Taurus has to do. I think that you not being too attached to how things work in your life would be a good idea. I think also being more spontaneous would be a good idea for you as well. You have the King of Swords. Again, I don't think I said this, but what I was going for with that Queen of Swords to the King of Swords is maturity. Sometimes I think that the Queen of Swords to the King of Swords in a reading just says that you are either becoming more mature or you are doing things that make you more mature, or whatever you want to call it. And I think this is going to be very good for you, Taurus, focusing on maturity, being more of a grown-up, right? It's like you're making wiser decisions, maybe, with the King of Swords, and I feel pretty good about that. I do feel this could be a person as well. Very random. I've been saying this to you for months. I just get this feeling that if you're going to be meeting a person, I feel like it's very random. And I know I've said this to you in the past. And, people always say, well, you always say that. And I'm like, well, yeah, but, to me, this could happen at any time. So, be prepared if you're looking for love. You have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is the spontaneous energy. So with the Knight of Wands, we have to be willing to be spontaneous. I look at him as the true builder in the tarot. He is kind of going on a journey, and he is building something in his life. But on the journey that he is on, he is also willing to build. Like if he doesn't have the tools or whatever he needs to build something, or like, if he doesn't have something, like if he gets to a river and he needs a bridge, he'll build it, right? So he's willing. He doesn't need things to be perfect, I guess is what I'm trying to say, with this card, to make things happen in his life. And I feel like I feel like that would be very good for you. Like not needing things to be perfect would be probably very helpful and will probably lead to a lot of success. So, I think being more flexible, not needing things to be perfect would be a good idea. You have the Chariot. The Chariot can be a victory or a big success coming in for you. And like I literally said this to Virgo as well, that I think that everybody is going to get the Chariot a lot over this summer because we have Jupiter going into Cancer. This is Cancer, and this is going to be very good. Jupiter loves Cancer. So, Jupiter is very much at home in Cancer. I think that it's going to be a very, good for people in general. But, I also think that it could be helping people have personal victories in their life. The Chariot is all about setting yourself apart. And I've been begging people to do whatever they can to set themselves apart. We have Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius is the collective, but I think if Pluto in Aquarius were to be negative, what we would see is everybody becoming robots. People plugging into AI and just disappearing and into the AI world, right? I'm not too worried about it, kind of, because we had Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune has moved into Aries. It will retrograde into Pisces, but it doesn't matter. I think that, could AI kill us? Yes, absolutely. The thing that gives me hope is the fact that we had Neptune in Pisces basically when it started. Neptune in Pisces is the deception, but when it moves into Aries, it's like we get the clarity. So I think there are some things on our side here. I'm not too worried yet. And, on a personal level, on a personal level, I think what we need to do is we need to, yes, benefit the collective, but we need to make sure that we don't become a part of the collective. We need to make sure that we don't become the collective, right? And, I think this is saying just be different. With the King of Swords, what do you know? Knight of Cups. Definitely could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you. I think you are going to become aware of this person. Like I said, it feels very random, like a random meeting. Maybe you take advantage of a random opportunity and meet the love of your life or something. I think the Queen and King of Swords here is just saying you don't know this person yet. So for those of you looking for love, it looks very good. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, like independence. So a lot of you could be feeling very independent at this time. She is working on her independence. You also have amazing cards for money here, Taurus. So the way that she makes money is with her skills. She has these grapes behind her, and the grapes in the tarot represent something that is difficult to grow, but she can do it well because she has the skills. She has this falcon on her wrist here as well, and that falcon represents her focus, so she can also manifest things through focus. And I think for a lot of you that this could just be you needing to focus more, and that's basically what I would do here. Money looks good, but I think that kind of like focusing on the big picture with that Ten of Pentacles is what needs to happen. You have a big picture dream. It might seem impossible, but I think you need to go for it with that card. With the Chariot, you have the Ten of Cups. Again, very good reading. I love readings that go from the Ten of Pentacles to the Ten of Cups. You could say that you have it here as well, but they're not touching. So here, they're basically touching. And, this combination can represent like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, good things happening for you after a difficult period of time, really good. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this dream job card. It says, did you ever think you could get paid just for being yourself? That could be the Ten of Pentacles. You have this retirement card. It says, working hard can be a thing of the past. Yes. So I think working hard in struggling. Didn't I say that at the beginning of the reading? You need to release the struggle. I think I said that on the Ten of Wands, but maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I think you need to release the need to struggle. Sometimes I think I was there for a long time in my life where I thought everything had to be very complicated. I thought everything had to be, really hard, but really it didn't. And, that's what I feel like you need to pay attention to here. You have the Eight of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you, and it's coming up in the good stuff, so it's obviously going to be positive. Personally, I do feel that the Eight of Cups is a positive card just in general, because how is it a bad thing to walk away from something that's no longer serving you? I just don't think it is. And he's deciding that he's not going to settle in life. So I think a lot of you are choosing not to settle here. You have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups can be fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, good things happening to you after a difficult period of time. So I think for a lot of you that, this could be like fortune after difficulty, basically. If you want love and if you want a family, again, this looks amazing. You could be finding a person that you really have a very solid commitment with, where you develop a family with that person or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I feel with that Ten of Cups. You have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles can represent spinning plates, so it can represent being very busy and having a lot to do. I feel that some of you could be very busy with the Two of Pentacles. Coming up in the good stuff, it would kind of just represent work hard, play hard, or needing to make sure that you're balancing your energy. I've been saying it for months. I think this summer people need to make it a point to make time to do something fun for themselves, just because the energy is too serious and there really is no good explanation, there is no good reason for it, maybe, but this guy here on the Seven of Swords, he has these polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots represent taking things too seriously. So if we're taking things too seriously, to solve that problem, we need to do something fun. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands can be like the wounded warrior, but he is not giving up. He's being perseverant. Perseverance is definitely good energy for Taurus. Taurus is perseverant in just in general. Taurus is plotting energy, like one foot in front of the other until you accomplish the goal. So I think this is a good energy for you. The Ten of Cups, you have the Two of Swords. You are seeing that something is possible is really what this is saying to me. It's like maybe you're seeing that your dream actually is possible. Maybe you're seeing that you can actually have the things that you want out of life. Maybe you're seeing that you can actually accomplish what you want as well. So, that looks really good. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, things are moving quickly. I think once you get into this space here, Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, that things will move very quickly. The Knight of Swords is also my card of building momentum. It says that you could be getting things to move forward very, very quickly and in your life by focusing on the good stuff. And also Wheel of Fortune. We can build momentum with the Wheel of Fortune by doubling down on the good stuff and taking care of the bad stuff very quickly. You have the Shield card. It says you need to defend yourself. I don't really feel that. But I do think this is encouraging boundaries, especially with the Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Pentacles. Those two cards together can represent your environment, like the things around you, and needing to create an environment of success. And, that's kind of what I feel like you need to do there. You have this Clouds card. It says temporary problems. Yeah, any issues that you're dealing with are temporary. Wouldn't even worry about it. This is an amazing reading, very positive. So, things look good. You have this Purse card. It says pay attention to your finances. Yes, money looks good, but I've been saying to everyone, money is changing. So I think, money can be good, but we still maybe need to pay attention, or, we need to make sure we're not just spending it all over the place and stuff, right? And so that's what I would do there. You have this Turkey card. It says someone is behaving stupidly. I would avoid stupid people. Plain and simple. Saturn and Aries and Neptune and Aries. I think, hot-headed energy, projection energy. I have said that I think the problem with those two is going to be projection. People projecting their BS on you. So, avoid people like that. And finally, you have this Rabbit. It says too much concern with sexual matters. This could be a person, could be you, I don't know. But I don't know, I would maybe take a cold shower or something here, Taurus, if you need it. But anyway, this looks good. Yeah, I wouldn't rush right into anything with a person, right? It's like I said, take a cold shower if you have to, just so you don't rush with this person. This person might have, I don't know, magical fingers or whatever. So there you go. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And definitely enjoy your week.